All right. How are we now? Can you hear me now? Everybody good? We got sound. We got visuals. How are we doing? Good morning, everybody. It is Friday, the 21st of April. Almost done with April. Then comes May. At least if I remember my calendar correctly. How's everybody doing? Good morning. So I gotta admit, today is gonna be a little bit of a strange one. For two reasons. One, I'm still a little tired after the super long project that we did, the Django Feelings one. So not quite ready to jump in anything too hard or large. And secondly, this afternoon I'm starting the Ludum Dare with my friend Owen. So got to keep some energy for that, especially because I'm using a new-to-me programming language and new-to-me game library. So, yeah. So, I thought what we would do this week, we've done it before and people seem to like it, I want to do it again, is just to build some tests, some learning code, just kind of playing around with some code. So I've got this one, which is beginner Python exercises. I've got Karen's list of projects, which is basically any language you want. And then there's also the site called Code Fights. I don't know how many of you have seen Code Fights or not, but it's pretty cool. They give you a challenge and you have to go write the code for it in whatever language you want, and then they kind of tell you like how well you're doing or not. Which is cool. So, I'll leave it up to chat to pick like kind of which one of those they want for a minute or so. If nobody comes in, then I'll pick one and we'll do stuff. But we'll talk about the code that we're gonna write. We'll talk about, just other Python-y things or just programming things or whatever. We'll talk about whatever whatever you all want. One thing that's really fun is today is my 3-year anniversary for Treehouse, so that's kind of cool. I started 3 years ago today. And also, today is Andrew Chalkley's birthday, so if you're a fan of Andrew, wish him happy birthday. Mohammed, you want some PHP, huh? I'm trying to get Alina to do it. There's a good chance I'm going to get her to do it probably next month, because I'm going to be out for a week or two due to conferences, so I'll try to get her to do it. But PHP is a fun language. It's got some cool stuff. I unfortunately haven't done it in a long time, so I don't feel like it would be a great idea to have me doing PHP. Probably be a bad idea. All right, so let's just try some just practice projects over here. Let's just see what we can find. That sounds fun. So this one we have kind of a little guide here showing I guess how hard this is. These are all supposed to be basic beginner programs or challenges, like not super hard stuff. And then Karen's projects here, these are really, really spread out. So we've got like graphics stuff, we've got threading stuff, we got, whatever. So, yeah. Any of these that y'all would like to see, or we'll do some code fights. This one's codefights.com. This is GitHub, and this is practicepython.org. Oh, okay. Cool. So let's try one of these harder ones here, just to see how hard the hard ones are. Let's start off with a 3. Let's see. Let's try out the reverse word order. Okay, so write a program using functions that asks the user for a long string containing multiple words. Print back to the user the same string except with the words in backwards order. So if we type in "my name is Michelle," we get back "Michelle is name my." Okay, that's not too difficult of a thing, right? So let's try this. So we'll say reverse words.py. This actually sounds like something I would make all of you do as a code challenge. So there should be many of you that could tell me how to do this one. I'm going to try and get these to where I can kind of see both things. So let's say reverse words string. So the first thing we want to do, we're taking in a bunch of strings, or we're taking a string with a bunch of words in it. We probably want to break it up, right? So let's do words equals string dot split, and that'll break it up on the white space. So tabs, spaces, new lines, all kinds of stuff like that. All right, and then we want to reverse that. So let's return space separated dot join words in reverse order. That should do it. So we'll say input, give me a sentence, and then we need to assign that to a variable. Sentence. And then let's say print reverse words sentence. All right. So is there anything in here that that y'all find confusing or strange, right? If there's something in these 7 lines that you're 6 lines that you're confused about, let me know. Ask questions in chat. But let's go ahead and run this. And we've got down here, give me a sentence. So, hello to everyone in the live stream chat. And we get back chat stream live the in everyone to hello. So cool, it worked. Nice. Let's actually go a step further. Let's make it reverse the letters in the words and reverse the words. So instead of, we'll effectively print the entire string backwards, which that should be different. Let me check to make sure this isn't going to just do what I think it is. We'll just print that. All right. So say hello to everyone in the live stream chat. And yeah, that would just do. Okay, so let's reverse the letters, leave the words in order. I'm going to change this to, so reverse word order, because that's the name that makes more sense. Can I share the links? I will do my best. Chat is often weird about this for like YouTube and stuff. So let's see what we can do. Let's try that. And let's try this. And lastly, I'll pop in this one. Hey, Dark Dev, how are you doing? All right, so yeah, so that we've got the reversing word order. We print the words out in the reverse order that they were put into the sentence. Now let's print out the words in the order they were in the sentence, but each word reversed. Not really harder to do, but still, you know, it's a neat thing to do. It's fun. So, we want to do words equals string dot split again, because we want to break it up into a bunch of words, right? And then I'm going to do this as a list comp. So let's return space separated dot join, and then word -1 for word in words. Okay, so now this will be reverse letter order. All right, and let's try this one again. So we'll say again, hello to everyone in the live stream chat. Sweet. So now you can see we've got the words in reverse order, but then we have the words in the correct order, but printed out backwards, right? Abdul, I posted the links in the chat a minute or so ago. And Dimmer, Python is completely free. Yes, you can go to python.org and download it and enjoy. All right, cool. So I think we've definitely solved that challenge, right? That's not too bad. Now these are definitely beginner challenges. These are not ones that are like you're gonna spend, you know, a month solving one of these things. So that's cool. What's the colon? So Stoon, you're talking about these two characters right here, right? So that's a fun thing in Python. In Python, we have a thing called a slice. So let me hop into the Python console here. Okay, so I'm gonna make a string, right? So I'm gonna call this name, and it's gonna be Stoon. All right. So if I want to get just one character out of there, I can use brackets, the bracket notation, and the index number of the letter, right? So in this case, I got S because S is the 0th index. It's the first thing in the string. So if I want to get a couple of things out of here, then I can do the same thing. Let's actually do the next one. And then I can list the next one that I want to get. So I want to get from 1 up to 3. All right? So if I do that, I get T and E, because this is 1, this is 2, and we don't get 3, we get up to 3. Right? Hector, the link is in chat, just a little ways above you. It's called Code Fights. Codefights.com. All right. So, Stoon, and everyone else who's wondering about the double colons. So that's how I get a substring or a sub list of things. Okay, I can also do like let's say 5. I don't think that's quite right. I can also list a step. Okay, so that's T and U. So it got what? Excuse me. It got 1, 2, 3, 4. It would have gotten 5, but it couldn't find it. But it only took every other one. So it did a step of 1 and then a step of 2, took the next one, and then stopped. Okay? I can leave off any one of those that I want, and it will get... If I leave off the first one, it starts at the very beginning. If I leave off the last one, it goes to the very end. If I leave off both of them and put in a step, then I'll get every other item or every third item or whatever. I can put in negative steps, though, and it will reverse. It'll go backwards. So it goes, in this case, from the very back to the very front, and in this case takes every one. In this case, would take every other one. In this case, would take every third one, that kind of thing. So that's what we're doing here, is we're taking the entire list of words and reversing that entire list. Or in this case, we're taking all the characters, all the letters in the word, and reversing those. So, yeah, that's what we're doing. Thanks for asking me about that. Dark Dev, I am doing the Ludum Dare. Yeah, my friend Owen and I are gonna do it. We're gonna use the language Rust, and we're going to use the GGEZ library. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know that it will go well, but we'll see how it goes. we're not too worried about actually having something submitted. We're really only worried about building something, like playing around with it. So if we get something built, that's cool. If we get something submitted, that's amazing. But if we don't, that's okay. All right. Shamul, you want to know about tuples? Okay, what do you want to know about them? Ask me questions about them, and I will happily answer them. But while you're asking those, I am going to start the next one of these. So I'm going to call this passwords.py. So I'm going to try this password generator, and we're going to see how we go here. Okay, Sagar. A couple of questions first. Sagar asks, when should we stop with a particular programming language and move forward to some other language? Python is my first language. You don't have to. You never have to move on. This isn't completely universal. The statement isn't completely true, but every programming language is capable, right? You can pretty much do anything you want to do in pretty much any language, right? You might have a really hard time making, say a high performance video game in PHP or in, I don't know. Man, Lua is actually good for video games. Anyway, right? Some languages are better for some things than others. If you're building desktop applications, Python's not particularly great. It's okay, but it's not amazing. So you don't ever have to move on so long as the work you're doing works really well in the language that you like to use. So just stick with it. But it never hurts to know a couple of languages. So that said, learn some other languages. Marion asks, is migrating from PHP to Python difficult? Yes and no. I basically made that migration. Python is a lot more strict about how you do certain things. And there's a lot less typing in Python than there is in PHP, like actual typing out letters. For a lot of things. Not everything, but for a lot of things. So some of those things are a little difficult, right? Like having to obey those rules can be really hard for some people when they go from PHP to Python, or any language to Python. Python's very you need to do these things in this way. But it's not as hard as other languages like, say, Rust or Haskell or whatever. Anyway, so the migration's not the easiest thing, but it's not super hard. So, Mohammed, you want to know where it can be helpful. What can be helpful? I'm going to scroll up a bit through the chat and see if I see... Yeah, you said you want to know where that... I want to know that where it can be helpful. Can you tell me what the thing is that you want to know where it's helpful? And then Dimer has asked, PHP or C#, is it better? It's really going to depend on what you're doing. Yeah, just depends on what you're doing. Ryan, what are classes in Python? Can I show an example? I sure can. And DarkDev, as far as the theme, you don't have to follow the theme. The theme is just there to prevent the empty page syndrome. I'm sure you've all experienced this, right? You have to write a story for class or something, and or you have to write a program, or you have to do whatever, and you're presented with this page right here, and you're just like, I don't know what to put into that page, right? That can be really challenging. So to prevent that, the Ludum Dare people made it to where they give you a theme, and you can follow the theme if you want. You don't have to follow the theme, but the theme helps you to prevent that empty page thing because, okay, I got to build something that has to do with forests. Okay, great. Okay, so now we've had two other questions about Python. We've had Ryan wants to know about classes. I bet we can use a class for this password generator. And Shamul doesn't understand the difference between dictionaries and tuples. Okay, so we might be able to use both of those too. So let's see what this problem is first. Write a password generator in Python. Be creative with how you generate passwords. Strong passwords have a mix of lowercase letters, uppercase letters, numbers, and symbols. The passwords should be random. generating a new password every time the user asks for a new password. Include your runtime code in a main method. Oh, that should be function, not method. Extra, ask the user how strong they want their password to be. For weak passwords, pick a word or two from a list. All right, cool. So let's do this. Let's import string, and let's also import random. So Python provides us with a lot of libraries, right? And two of those libraries, random and string, are really useful because they contain modules that we can use to build other things, or methods we can use, rather. Random lets us do random things. String has a lot of stuff about, like, ASCII characters. So let's do password generator. All right, so this is a class. Guess what? That's a class. That's it. So there's a class. I've made a class, but I probably needed a bit more information about this, right? So let's have a thing here where we do let's say strength, and we'll start with 16. Okay, so self.strength equals min how do I want to do this? I don't want them to be anything lower than 16. Max, that's what I want. So 16 or strength. Okay? So this way they have to give me something that is at least 16, right? If they give us something above that, then that's cool. We'll use whatever that is. If they don't give us something above that, we're going to at least use strength. And then we want to do like self.password equals self.generate password. And we're going to pass in, we don't even need to pass in the strength. That's going to be stored on the instance. And that's it. And then we'll do def str return self.password. All right. So we have a class right now, and its initialization method has an argument that comes in called strength, which is always at least 16 due to this. And then we're gonna call this method called generate password, which I haven't written yet. And if we turn our password generator instance into a string, it's going to return self.password, whatever the string is that we've generated for the password. So let's talk about how we generate this password. Okay, so that has to take self because all instance methods take the instance as the first argument. Typically, that's called self. All right, so I'm going to use the strength to be how long the password is. Okay, so let's look at string. Where is string? String. It's down here somewhere. There it is. The module string. All right. So you can see here we have, very handy, we have printable, we have digits, we have ASCII letters. Okay? So we want those three things. So let's just say pool equals string.ASCII letters plus string dot was it not numbers? Digits. Plus string dot punctuation. Okay, so that's our pool of characters, right? So we take our letters, our digits, our punctuation, and we're going to cram those all together into one big string. And then I want to pull random things out of there. So let's go look at the random module. There's random. Random has a really handy, to me at least, function in it that is known as choices. because I don't necessarily want shuffle. We'll look at shuffle later. I don't necessarily want sample, because sample is always unique. And we do maybe want things to repeat. So we're going to use choices. Choices is going to pull out random choices up to a number that we specify. So let's just do password equals random.choices from pool. And the k is going to equal self.strength. So that's going to pull out a random number of choices based on the strength that we've passed in. So we're basically making a string that is 16 or 32 or whatever characters long. Then I want to take this a step further, and I want to shuffle it, right? And so that will randomly shuffle them around. So, cool. So we do random.shuffle password. So that'll randomly shuffle all those things around that it randomly picked out. And then, is there anything else that I want to do? I don't think there is. To shuffle an immutable sequence and return a new shuffled list. We'll have to see what this does. I have a feeling this may error out. Okay, so I think we're good enough for now. And then we're going to do return password. So down here, let's do a if name is equal to main. Print password generator input. How strong should your password be? All right, that's good enough for that. Okay, so we're going to run this. How long should your password be? Let's start off with, let's test this. I want something that's 10 characters long. This should automatically give me back 16, right? I should always get 16. I should never get anything below that. Oh, that's right. Let's do this. Strength equals T2I. D2TI. There we go. Okay. So try. While true. While strength. Yeah, that's what I want. Is numeric. I'm not a big fan of this right here, but it will work for now. Else print password generator int strength. All right, let's try that one. Should be 10. Turn non-string list type. There we go. All right. And let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16. Sweet. So I got a password that is at least 16 characters long, and it's a randomly generated password. So that's cool. Let's try this with something longer. Let's try 32 as a much longer password. So neat. So it gave me a random password. These would be, you know, fairly safe to use. Hopefully. Hopefully no websites would reject it if you use those. But yeah, so there's a password. So here's an example using random, using string, and using a class. I want to look back through chat because I know I've seen some other questions come in. And blah, 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 blah. Okay, dictionary and tuples. Tuples we'll go play with in a second, Shamul. Dark dev, we're not going to talk about the theme. We're not going to worry about that. David wants to know if I can program in Java. No. I can read it, and I get a pretty good idea of what's going on in it. I've been taking some of our Java content at Treehouse lately, so push came to shove, I could probably write just a little bit of Java, but no, Java's not my language. It's a neat language. It's got some cool features, but it's not one that I have any real confidence in myself in just yet. Abdu says they've just finished their first language, Python. Congratulations on finishing a whole language. And I want to learn a framework to make a web application. Should I learn Bottle, Django, or Flask? I would say you probably want to learn Django, simply because it has all the bells and whistles and bits and pieces that you typically need for building a web application. Bottle and Flask are going to require you to bring those in yourself. Sometimes that's great, sometimes that's not. So I think at the first step, you kind of want to just have everything there with you, and you know that it's all going to work. Sagar asks, what is Python used the most for in companies? It's used for a lot of things. Facebook uses it for URL routing and service routing. Instagram uses it for a good chunk of their stack, or used to, I'm pretty sure they still do. YouTube uses it for a good chunk of their stack. Again, used to, pretty sure they still do. It's used for data science a lot, so calculating like where customers are abandoning shopping carts and all that kind of stuff. It's used for a lot of things. Nikos, this right here is an application called Zeal, Z-E-A-L, and it is an offline documentation viewer. If you're on Mac, there's one just like this that's really handy called Dash. So, yeah, check those out. Chad, glad I could help you with OOP. Blah, 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 da, 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 da. Cigar, this if name equals main takes advantage of Python's namespaces. So name here is the current namespace. If I'm inside of a class or whatever, that class is now that namespace. So in here, this says if the script is being run directly, then do this stuff. If it's being imported somewhere else, don't do that. Humanoid, how is Windows going? Windows is fine. I had kind of an annoying thing earlier trying to get SDL set up on Windows, but it turns out I was just doing it wrong. It wasn't actually Windows' fault. It was my fault for not realizing I didn't have certain things installed and put in the right place. So once I got those fixed, it all worked fine. We'll take a look at some Rust later, y'all. I'll do my best to explain a little bit of it, and we'll look at it. Martin, what languages what languages do I mainly know? Full web, like, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Python. I can read and sort of kind of write because I'm super rusty. PHP. I got a bit of Java. I got a bit of Rust. I got a bit of Lua. I got a bit of kind of whatever. And Marion, yeah. Python is very friendly to machine learning. So, okay, cool. I think we got that one. I don't know if there's anything else here I want to cover, except maybe we'll do the birthday dictionaries here just to help the person that was asking about understanding tuples and dictionaries. Humanoid, do I want a code fight? Not at the moment, but maybe in a bit. So let's get down here. And let's do birthdays.py. So the difference between tuples, which look like this, and dictionaries, which look like this. Let's start by creating our birthdays here. And we're going to put in the birthdays of people's names. Or we're going to have keys of people's names. These are going to be our birthdays. So it looks like we're supposed to have these 3 people. So let's just paste those in there. And the cool thing about dictionaries is you can have your keys as strings, right? They can also be integers, and they can also be tuples. They can be anything that is non-mutable, that's immutable, something that can't be changed. Which means that you can do a lot of nice things with them. So, let's actually find these people's birthdays. So, Albert Einstein, which I realized I just completely misspelled his name, but Wikipedia is smart enough, they will find it for me. Thanks, Wikipedia, for being smart. So I'm actually going to do these as dates. So let's do datetime.date. And the year for this is 1879. The month for that would be 3. And the day for that would be 14. If I remember correctly, Python's datetime does not zero index months or days, unlike some people, JavaScript. So, all right, let's also get Benjamin Franklin. All right, so he was born 1706. 1706. 1 and 17. And then Lady Lovelace, when were you born? Not Amazon. Wow. Lovelace. I'll see you around, Dark Dev. Have a good day. And yeah, Humanoid, DuckDuckGo's bangs are pretty much the best thing ever. Okay, so Lady Lovelace was born 1815, 1210. Cool. So let's go back to this prompt. So what we're supposed to do is print out. I've got a bunch of birthdays. Abdu, should you be a professional in Python to learn Django? No, you can learn Django before you're a professional. I don't know if there really is a. Yeah, there's no requirement. So just learn stuff when you want to learn stuff. Okay, so let's print. Welcome to the birthday dictionary. We know the birthdays of, and then here we're going to do for name in birthdays, print name. So when you loop over a dictionary, when you do a for loop on a dictionary, what you're actually looping over is the keys, because the keys are the primary part of a dictionary. They're the part that's the, not say most useful, but they're the most static part of a dictionary. They're the part that Python does its best to store right up front, somewhere nice and handy, easy to get to. So when you loop over it, that's what you get. So in this case, we're going to print out the names, and then we're supposed to do an input here. Let's do name equals, and then inside here, whose birthday do you want to look up? And then let's say, so they're going to do that name, and then we'll do print birthdays name. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this. And I want to look up Ada Lovelace's birthday. And let's do a dot trim on that. Does trim not exist? No, it's strip. What am I doing? All right, so that should print out that. But I have a feeling this is going to look a little weird. So, yeah. So that's not necessarily the format that I'm used to, right? That's not necessarily the way I want to read it. So I'm an American, so I typically want to do month, day, year, which is weird, but let's go ahead and do it that way. STRF time. We want to format this. And how do we want to do this? Let's go down here and look at the list. So I want the month first. So let's actually do this as the month's full name. So %B. That's not a percent. That's not a percent either. Percent, capital B. And then the day of the month is %D. And then the year is %Y. All right, let's try this again. Ada Lovelace. December 10, 1815. So cool, that's nice. That's neat. All right, so that's pretty simple. I think we've pretty much exhausted these basic challenges. So we'll go try something a little harder. Humanoid, what music do I listen to? The music in the stream is Chris Zabriskie. He is a Treehouse employee, and he makes pretty awesome music. As for me personally, it's somewhat of a interesting mix, maybe. There's a lot of, like, 90s, early 2000s, punk, hardcore, and rock. And then, like, 1950s and 60s country, and then just other random stuff as it comes up. Zishan, what do I think of TensorFlow? I haven't gotten to play with it, but it seems pretty cool. So, I don't have any problems with it. I think it's cool, but I haven't gotten too far through it. Peter, this is not a Django project. We are just doing some different code challenges, and we're just talking about programming. So today's kind of more of a chill, relaxed stream than before. Abdu, can I explain super function? Sure, I can explain super. So let's pretend that we have, well, here, let's just do this. Let's do a bad password generator. And this inherits from password generator. Okay? So right now this class is fine, and this class just does all its own stuff, right? So, or not all of its own stuff, sorry. It does whatever password generator does. But I want to override some of this. So I'm going to take self, and I'm going to take any args and quargs that come in, but I don't care about them, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to do super dot init, and strength is going to be equal to, I'm just gonna pass, actually I'm not going to pass anything in, okay? So now we have the same password as we had before, okay? But I'm ignoring any quarks that come in. I'm not listening to you on whatever you're going to feed me. You can say, I want this to be 82 characters. I don't care. I'm ignoring that. And I'm calling super, and I'm just letting it do whatever. So then I'm going to say self.strength equals 8. And self.password equals self.generate password. Okay? So now, down here, instead of that, let's do bad password generator. We're going to run this. I want it to be 32 characters long. No matter what, I get an 8 one. So this super calls the same function, or same method, usually, from the parent class. So in this case, this calls init from here. It causes this init to be run. and then we can go on and do whatever we want. So super just goes to the super class and runs that method, or runs the method that you specify. All right. There's no music in the stream. There should be. It's just very, very quiet right now. So, I don't know. All right, let's try one of these code fights. I'm not sure how the code fight goes against somebody, humanoid, if you want to tell me how to do that one. But let's just try whatever the day's challenge is. So what do we have? We have algorithmic and we have database. All right, let's just set for... I don't want to deal with database stuff. I don't know that I really want to do too many of these. The longest consecutive one's kind of neat, but I don't want to deal with binary stuff. Let's look at the strings one. Given an array of equal length strings, check if it's possible to rearrange the strings in such a way that after the rearrangement, the strings at consecutive positions would differ by exactly one character. For input array ABA, BB, BAB, the output should be false. Okay. For input array AB, BB, AA, the output should be true, because the strings can be rearranged in the following way: AA, AB, BB. Okay. That, seems alright. So we get back a whole bunch of strings. Oh, what's the... I'm just going to look up distance, and I don't think that's going to give me what I want, but it's like the Levenstein distance or something like that. Yeah, that's not going to give me... That's not going to give me what I want. Levenstein. I know I misspelled that. But DuckDuckGo will know what I want. Yeah, okay, so there's a package that does it. That's cool. I don't really want a package because I can't install one. I just want, like, the actual thing. Oh, you did it in C. You didn't even do it in Python. What does this look like when we look at the package? So we have that external package, yeah. We don't have any entry points. Okay. So if I remember correctly, this is the thing that we want. Okay, we want the Levenstein distance of 2 strings. All right, so let's try building this real quick first, and then we'll see what we can get here. Option insert. There we go. 11. How do you spell that? SH. Levenstein.py. All right. So this is Python 2. We're going to have to... we're going to have to change this so that it's Python 3. But that's okay. Okay, so we don't want to print... We'd want to print like that. And we'd want to print like that. And this should be input and input. And that should be like that. Okay, so let's try this out. So if I do like AA and AB, range object does not support item assignment. That's true, it doesn't. Where did we try to do item assignment? Class range does not define that. Okay, so matrix at this point, this is why you don't use like Really bad little variable names, kids. Okay. I'm not even going to worry about that. So we get the length of each of the two strings. Okay. And then we do range, length of the first one plus 1. Okay. Times length of the second one plus 1. And then for each thing that's in range, length of the second one plus 1, we do matrix, whatever that thing is, equals range where we're at, plus the length of the first one plus 1. Okay. So then for ZZ in range, length of the second one. For SZ in range, length of the first one. If if the first string plus the place that we're on is equal to the second string plus the place that we're at, then matrix ZZ plus 1. Oh, I see. I need to turn this into a list. Okay, so we're doing the min out of each of those. And then down here we need the same thing. So that equals this list here. And this list here. And this list here. Okay, let's try this one again. AA, AB, and our distance is 4. Okay. So what about AA, BB? Our distance is 4. Maybe this isn't going to do what I want it to do. What was that other example that they had? ABA and BBB. Yeah, because that's got more than one character. So that's 6. So maybe if the distance... Okay. So AA and BB, that was also 4. Huh. Alright, so somebody asked if the C programming language able to create an online game like an MMORPG or edit someone else's online game. Could you create an MMORPG? Yes. Could you edit someone else's MMORPG? Probably not. Okay, humanoid. I'm gonna not worry about this one. How do I see the challenge? Ah, this one, I'm guessing. Okay, get ready. You're assuming I know what I'm doing, Code Fights. Oh, look at all your stars, man. You got 4 stars. Alright, now I'm not promising anything. I'm not promising I'm going to do better than you. I'm not promising I'm going to do worse than you either. Okay. Given an array of integers, find the pair of adjacent adjacent elements that has the largest product and return that product. So, for input array 3, 6, -2, -5, 7, 3, the output should be 21. 7 and 3 produce the largest product. Okay. Okay. So, let's start that. Oh, come on, y'all. This is not how you format code. Okay, so best equals that and that. Was this your code? Or is this... No, this is just some code that they gave. Okay. Best equals none. Yeah, best equals none. For x, y, and zip, input array 1 colon, if x times y greater than best, actually, if best is none, or, so y equals that, best equals x times y. Return best. Expected output, got 18, expected 21. You think I can only change one line? Let me reset the code. Okay, so they're doing best equals input array 0 times input array 1, current equals best. For I in range 1 to the length of the input array minus 1, current equals input array I times input array I plus 1. If best less than cur equals best. Return best. And running that one fails. It fails all of the tests, right? 2 out of 8. See, I don't like the way they're doing this. Okay, I'm probably not gonna beat you, as I'm having to code on the spot on camera. So, okay. Yeah, this is a silly way of doing it. Like, this is fine. Right? Like, that's fine, whatever. Do that. But for x, y, in zip, input array 1 colon. Right? Because that way you're never comparing two numbers to themselves. So cur is equal to x times y. If best is less than that, and then, okay, run your sample tests. Oh, number of lines changed in the sample code. I'm going to look over here at the rules. There's one bug. Oh, I'm just looking for a bug. I didn't know I was just looking for a bug. All right. Best is equal to that times that. For I in range that. Oh, this should be best equals cur. Yeah. No, humanoid, it is cool. It's just, it's not what I was expecting, right? So, yeah. That's, all right. Now I get it. Now I see the rules. Okay. Cool. Let's go with the next one. Okay. Given an array of integers, find the product of its elements. So I've got an array full of numbers. Get back the total product. Okay. Rules on this one. Recovery task. The highlighted area of the code is missing. Understand and recover it. Note that multiple lines of code might be missing. Okay. So I'm gonna get an array, and then I need to return the total product of that array. Okay. Should be easy enough. Can I start? Do I have to wait for the timer to run out? I guess I gotta wait for the timer to run out. All right, let's see what's going on in chat. And if anybody else wants to challenge me, I'll probably have time to do another one after this. So feel free to go sign up on Code Fights and fight me on something. Hi, we have a 17-year-old from Egypt. That's cool. How you doing? You've got skills in Visual Basic. That's a good starting language. And Peter or Petter, tell me which one of those it is. I'm glad that you're enjoying the series. That's cool. All right, so let's start. What is up? Why can't I? I'm gonna refresh. And now watch, I'm gonna have to do the first fight again. Look what you've done, humanoid. Look at this. Now we're all just watching a spinner. Oh, humanoid. No, it's not your fault at all. It's Code Fights being weird, I guess. Privacy badger. User. Yeah, no, you can block user voice. I don't care about user voice. I have no code friends online. Oh no. Okay. So it's figured out that we're on round 2. All right, cool. Hey, there we go. Okay. Seriously? Oh, no, I know what this is supposed to be. This is supposed to be input array 0. Yeah, Code Fights is really slow. Double T the second one, so it's Petter and not Peter. Okay. Well, Petter, I'm happy to have you here. What can you learn when you're 17 years old? You can learn anything you want. I mean, yeah, go learn Python, go learn PHP, go learn JavaScript, go learn, C#, learn whatever. How are y'all doing? I guess we're gonna just wait here. Can I list the extension that I'm using in Chrome? Which one? I have a lot of extensions in Chrome. If you can tell me which one you want to know. Yeah, you're not a programmer. You've been doing, or not a beginner. You've been doing VB for years. So yeah, build pretty much anything you want, right? Like use VB to build apps or whatever. Sweet. So I passed that one. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, the algorithm should return the smallest non-negative integer of n digits length. So if we want an integer that is 3 digits long, then we return the smallest one that is at least that. Okay. I don't care about solutions. Code writing. So I'm just writing straight code in this one. Okay. Let's start coding. All right. So, what do we want here? We want length equals length equals n. I don't even need that. Okay. So what I want is the smallest number. So let's see. Base equals (10 to the power of n? That's not right. Because if I do that and I get 10 to the power of 1, I get 10. And I don't want 1. Alright, let's just do this. return min map int filter lambda x len x greater than, or no, len x is equal to n. I'm gonna break this up a little bit because y'all won't ever be able to read this and I won't remember what I was doing. Okay. Okay. So lambda and map str oh, hold on. I'm not thinking this through at all. I'm thinking it's going to feed me numbers. Okay, if n is equal to 1, return 1, else return 10 to the power of n. My favorite Chrome extension. My favorite one's probably Privacy Badger or uBlock Origin because it keeps me from having to see annoying things. Also, HTTPS Everywhere. Those are great. I use those a lot. Petter, you're just catching up. That's cool. Yeah, we've been doing this about 6 months now, so there's quite a bit to watch. Hopefully you will like all the stuff that you watch. Xander, any good sites to practice Lua? So I don't know anything for practicing Lua specifically, but there is this github.com/Karen/projects. These are language agnostic challenges. So you can go and do them in any language that you want to do. So Java, Lua, Python, PHP, whatever, because you're just doing them on your own computer. So you can kind of do whatever it is that you want to do. But it's really good tests there. That should be n -1. Alright, how did we do? Oh, you beat me! Well, good for you. Good job. Yeah, that was those were good challenges. Like I said, you're probably gonna beat me because I'm doing this live on camera, and I didn't know what the challenges were, of course. So, but that's cool. Yeah, code fights is a really neat thing. I need to play with it more, and I need to do more coding on this. I'm wondering if some of this time should be stripped because of just how freakishly long it took to submit those things, right? Like, though some of those things took like minutes to submit. So maybe that's because I'm streaming. That could very much be part of it because I'm pushing out, video to everybody. But yeah, that's pretty hardcore. But great job, Humanoid. So everybody give Humanoid some congratulations, some thumbs up. So Skacraft, because I can't pronounce your Arabic name there, sorry. You said you want to make 3D games. You're probably going to want to learn something other than VB to make 3D games. Those two words sound a lot alike. Java is an okay choice, but you're probably best off really with C++ or C#. If you do C++, then you can build stuff with Unreal Engine. C#, you can build stuff with Unity. So those are probably your best two choices for doing 3D things. All right, do y'all want to look at Rust? You want me to show you some Rust that I've done by playing with it totally from tutorials, totally from other stuff, but I can show you some Rust. Because Rust is kind of cool. It's neat. Marion, thanks. I'm glad that I look friendly for my age. I won't tell you how old I am or am not. But yeah, I try to be friendly. I'm glad that came through. So Rust is kind of cool because Rust, this is Rust. Let me make this a little bigger. I know that y'all have a harder time seeing it on the screen because of it being smaller. So let's go to 18 for that. That should be big enough. All right, cool. So Rust is cool. Rust is a language that looks a lot like... It doesn't really look like Java, but it kind of looks like Java. It doesn't look like C, but it kind of looks like C. And it doesn't look like Python, but it works a lot like Python. A lot of it is very similar to me as a Python and having done Ruby in the past. Very similar there. So you always have this main.rs file in your project. And then inside that, there's always this function called main. Now, Rust is a very functional programming language. It's meant to do functional stuff. And so, yeah, you'll find a lot of functional programming oriented stuff in Rust. So this is FizzBuzz. So I'm sure you've all seen FizzBuzz at some point. The idea is you take all the numbers from 1 to 100. If the number can be divided by 3, you print out Fizz. If it can be divided by 5, you print out Buzz. If it can be divided by both 3 and 5, you print out FizzBuzz. Otherwise, you just print out the number. So this is a for loop, as you can tell by the use of the word for. And so this gives us, like, if I was doing this in Python, it would be like, for num in range 1, 101, right? Like, that's what I'd write in Python. So this is for num in range 1 to 101. Very similar. And so inside of there, if the number divides by 3 and the output of that is 0, then I check to see if it'll also divide by 5. And if so, print out FizzBuzz. Otherwise, I'm going to print out Fizz. If it divides by 5 evenly, we print out Buzz. Otherwise, we print out the number. Anytime you see this exclamation mark like that, that's a macro. You're not exactly running a function, but you're kind of sort of running a function. This is an area I don't know yet. So ignore me on a lot of this. But it's pretty cool. This is like pretty simple to read, I think. And if we run it, you'll see that it's very fast. It runs very quickly. So that's cool. That's fun. Let's look at something a little bigger that I did with the help of a tutorial. Because I don't know all of this myself yet. So we'll find out. Scacraft, I cannot teach you C++, and Treehouse won't teach you C++, but we will teach you C#. And we can teach you Unity. So we have both of those. And am I the person who appears in Treehouse, like Treehouse advertisements? I'm probably in some of them. But I'm not in all of them, I don't think. I don't know. Ryan, what is the best language or framework for backend web dev? Give you an answer straight up. I can't give you an answer straight up. Because there's no answer to that. There's no best language. There has never, ever been a best language. There will never, ever be a best language. Right? It depends on the programmer. It depends on the system. It depends on the requirements of the software. There's no such thing as a best. There's no best text editor. There's no best IDE. There's no best web browser. There's no best language. There's no best anything. Yeah. Okay, Shmuel, you want to learn more about Python? Well, I heavily recommend Treehouse for that. But if you don't want to pay for Treehouse or you can't afford Treehouse, which is totally fine and understandable, then there is pretty good tutorials on python.org. And there's a couple of amazing books out there. Automate the Boring Stuff by Al Swigert is free online, I do believe. Let's look that up real quick. Automate the Boring Stuff. And then Python Crash Course, or Crash Course Python, I don't remember which one of those it is a really great book as well. And I highly, highly recommend both of those. There you go. Try that out. So yeah, let's talk about this Rust script real quick, and then we'll go do something else. Somebody else challenged me to a code fights fight. That was fun to do. So yeah, somebody come fight me on this. My username is Kenneth Love. I'm really hard to pick out. You'll never find me. All right, cool. So so this is a number guessing game, right? So like, let's run this. So it's a number between 1 and 100. So let's guess 50. That's too small. Okay, so let's guess 75. That's too big. So it's between 50 and 75. Let's go for 65. That's too big. So it's between 50 and 65. Let's go for 60. Too big. 55. Too small. 57. Too small. 58. Then it's got to be 59. Sweet. And it took me 8 tries. So some of this is my own thing that I added, which is the how many guesses you spent. The rest of it is from the tutorial. So we're bringing in this random crate. Sure, humanoid, I'll do another one against you. And then kind of like with Python, kind of like with Java, we have to bring in packages to be able to use them. So in this case, we're bringing in the IO package from the standard library. We're bringing in the ordering package from the comparison package inside the standard library. They're actually not called packages, they're called crates. Rust has crates, which is weird, but whatever. And then here we're bringing in the RNG thing, whatever that is, from the rand crate. And then inside of our main function, we print out guess the number. Then we generate a random number between 1 and 101. And then here I'm creating a variable called numGuesses. That's going to be 0. And this right here, this MUT, the mut, makes it mutable. So that makes it to where you can change the value later, because by default in Rust, all variables are immutable. They can never be changed once they're set. And that's actually really cool. That's really, really handy. So, yeah, that's amazing. So then this loop here is just an infinite loop. It runs forever. This is the equivalent of Python's while true, right? So that's what you've got. All right, humanoid, I'll fight you in a second. All right. So then we print out, put in your guess, and then here we take guess, and it's going to be this new string. This one we mark as being mutable because we want to change the string once they input one. So we take standard line, or take standard in. We read the line, and then here we're saying, give me a reference to guess. Let me play with guess, and if it doesn't come back as something that's actually a string for some reason, then this expect will come out, or then this will be printed out. So then guess, we're going to turn that into an unsigned 32-bit number. We're going to trim it of any white space, and then we're going to parse it. That's what's going to turn it into that U32. If it parses okay, if it's fine, then we just give back the number. And otherwise, if it doesn't, then we continue with the loop. We do the loop again. Okay? And then here I increment the number of num guesses by 1. And we print out, here's what you guessed. And then here, this is pretty cool. We do a match comparison. So we take guess, we do a comparison on it against the secret number that got picked. If it's less, then we say, hey, your number was too small. If it's bigger, if it's greater, then we print out your number's too big. Or if they're equal, then we print out you win, here's how many tries it took you, and then we break the loop. This is actually pretty cool. Like, this is really, that's 40 lines of code, and that's pretty amazing. We did a number guessing game almost exactly like this in Python Basics, I think it was, one of my courses. It took us way more than like 40 lines to do it. So that's pretty cool. I think Rust is neat. So yeah, hopefully y'all will you'll check out Rust. They have a tutorial on the official site that's really good. So try that out. Okay, we got a new challenge. So Humanoid wants to challenge me again. Sagar says there's a Vimium Chrome extension. I may have to check that out. I may have to give that a try. Scocraft wants to know how they can work for Treehouse if they become good in one of the languages that we use. You know, we hire every once in a while. It's always possible, but $1,000 per hour, that's probably not going to happen. Just because, you know, yeah, nobody's going to get paid $1,000 an hour. $1,000 an hour if you want to work, you know, a really small number of hours, sure. All right, Humanoid. Let's do this again. I'm going to take a minute off for every one of these, maybe 2, just because of me reading it. Okay, given 3 integers, A, B, and C, it's guaranteed that 2 of these integers are equal to each other. What is the value of the 3rd integer? Bug fix task. Oh, man. Okay. Extra number. If A is equal to B, return C. If C not is... That's just silly. All right, next. Given a permutation, produce its inverse permutation. Permutation 1, 3, 4, 2. The output should be 1, 4, 2, 3. Huh? Okay. Result equals blank. For I in range, that... result.append that. For I in range, the length of the permutation, result, permutation I minus 1 equals result. Okay, so that became 1. 2 became 3. This is one I'm not sure of, because I'm not sure what they're trying to do here. List index out of range. Yeah. Of course it is, because... No, this one doesn't count. This one's impossible. I've had it before, I never managed to solve it. Okay, what's the... I get the rules. I don't get the reverse permutation. Let's go look at... Well, that's not going to help me. An inverse permutation is a permutation in which each number and the number of the place which it occupies are exchanged. Each number and the number of the place that it occupies. So 1 stayed in 1. 3... 0, 1, 2, 3 went to there. 4 went to there. 2 went to there? But 4 is not in the right place. Shouldn't 4 be... An inverse permutation is a permutation in which each number and the number of the place it occupies are exchanged. Okay, I want to see what these tests look like. Okay, that's that one. 1, 2, 3. should come out as 1, 2, 3, because 1 stays in 1, 2 stays in 2, 3 stays in 3. Here, 1 stays in 1. Okay, do any of y'all get this one? Because I am lost on this one. Okay, let's just look at what the code's doing. So we have a blank list. So then, for each number in a range the length of the permutation, we're appending 0. Okay? So then, for an index for the length of the permutation, we take the permutation, that number, minus 1. So that's going to be like a 0 or whatever. So that first one's going to be negative 1. And that should equal... I don't think that's right. I can only change ... Confirm. You know what they want, but you don't know how to do it? Well, you're doing better than me on that one, then. So 1 stays in 1. The number and the number of the place which it occupies. Okay, hold on. So, this is going to take permutation I minus 1, right? So that's going to be permutation I, the first one is going to be 1, minus 1 is going to be 0. So that should be equal to something. Let's not worry about that one. The next one that comes through is going to be 3. 3 minus 1 equals 2. Three minus 1 equals 2. So that's the second spot. Yeah, this one's the number. So 3 went to the end. The inverse is 2. So weird. Yeah. The number goes where the item in the array at the index that is the number. The number goes where the item in the index array at the index that is the number. But there's no 0 in here. So 1 goes into 1. 4 goes into 2? I can't make 4 cases, Skycraft. I can't change the code beyond what I'm doing right now. Okay, I'm gonna look at this. I'm gonna look at this one. That one passed. Because I basically sorted the thing. Okay, so they're expecting 4 to come into the second one. So we've got 3, which is at index 2. 3 ends up at index 3. The number goes where the item in the index at the index that is the number. Yeah, how is this not just permutation I? Like, that can't be right. Yeah. Two, 4, 1, 3. Yeah, well, whatever. Okay, I'm just gonna skip this one. I don't even care at this point. We'll figure it out later. Okay, given a string, replace each... Oh, you skipped it too. Haha. Given a string, replace each of its characters by the next one in the English alphabet. A would be 0 would be replaced by A. So we're shifting it by 1. Okay. For letter in input string, let's do output is that. If letter is equal to A, output dot append Z. If letter is equal to Z, output dot append A. Else is it always going to be lowercase? It's always going to be lowercase. Okay. Else output dot append string dot ASCII lowercase string dot ASCII lowercase dot index letter plus 1. Return dot join output. Oh, I don't need this. I just need this. There we go. Oh, we're still waiting on you. 3 is the second number, so it goes where number 2 is placed. Okay, Dithy, I think I get that. So because 3 was the second item, we go back 1 to get 2. We find where the 2 is? Yeah, I got no idea on that one. Let's look that up. Let's do Python inverse permutation, right? Okay, so let's see what they're doing. So they make an array of zeros. That's the length of the permutation, which is fine. For each thing in enumerate, yeah. Inverse, whatever the letter is, equals that. Yeah, see, that would make so much more sense. But they weren't doing that. They were doing something weird. I lost that one again. By 3 seconds? By 3 seconds. Really? I lost by 3 seconds. Oh, man. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. Alright, we got time. Send me another one, or somebody else send me one. And let's answer some more questions. Somebody send... Give me some more questions. And we'll talk about whatever. Or Dithy, do you think you've got something? What's So see, Sagar, I don't get that one, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 2 is in position 1. How does it go to the end? So whatever's at the zeroth index stays. All the other items are placed inversely in terms of indexing. Okay. Oh, pause. Pause. Let's do it, pause. Let's do it. This could be a really good way to just like test things, to play with stuff. All of y'all have like way more stars than me, and it's because I don't ever play with this. But y'all are also all marked as Python 2, and that's just ridiculous. Okay, give an integer n, find n factorial. Okay, so factorial of n, blah blah blah. So is this a bug fix one? Okay, so yeah, so we do that. I got that one. Okay, I've done factorials before. Yeah, Dithey, go ahead and explain. I'd love to. I'd love to hear an explanation, because I am so lost on that. I'm also lost on code fights not letting me start these fights. Don't let me start fights. That sounds horrible. But yeah, y'all know what I mean. Why is programming not in our life for real? Why are there no programs to see if everyone is doing their job or not? I'm kind of glad there's not. Well, humanoid, you're marked as Python 2. You better fix that. Fix it. I'm kind of glad that there's not. Like, as much as programming in real life would be fun for, like, being able to apply, you know, functional programming to some job I have to do, and Python washes all the dishes for me or whatever. Yeah, I'm not all that stuck on, like, oh, I want there to be coding to monitor me. There already is coding to monitor me all day, every day. But I don't want that to be something I have to actually deal with. It's just the default, and you never bothered to change it. Well, that's just unacceptable. You gotta have Python 3. We gotta show that Python 3 is better and larger and bigger than Python 2, because it is. All right, we're gonna do this pause as soon as Code Fights plays along. I'm actually really glad programming is not in real life. Programming is taken too seriously already. If n is equal to 0, return n. Return n. Otherwise, we need to return else. Return n minus 1. Oh. I can't edit all those lines. Keep forgetting that the first one's a bug fix. Keep forgetting the first one's a bug fix. This should be times equals. Yeah, see, look, this says I'm already at 2 minutes. I'm nowhere near 2 minutes. The sample tests aren't even loaded. James, what is my most proud Python project? My most proud Python project is probably a package called Django Braces. It's a bunch of code a friend and I wrote for Django's class-based views. So it's a lot of stuff for bringing in a lot of functionality into the class-based views without having to write it yourself. It's pretty popular, or was at one time, and yeah, it's pretty neat. Yeah, see, look, this is ridiculous. It's telling me I'm at 2 minutes and 40 something seconds. This thing right here doesn't even exist. Code Fights is ridiculous. Okay, Dithey has an explanation for us, so let's see here. 1 is in position 1, so it stays in position 1. Okay, we all understand and agree with that one. 3 is the second number, so it goes wherever number 2 is placed. Ah, I get you. Okay. 4 is the third number, so it goes wherever number 3 is originally placed, and we'd go so on and so forth. I gotcha. Okay. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. The other stuff is a little weird. I'm still trying to figure that one out, but cool. I got you now. So, yeah, I kind of want to try that one again, but This is ridiculous. What is up with code fights? Is it because I'm... Okay, let's unblock their stuff and see if that makes it work better. I won't block anything, code fights. You can show me your stupid ads or whatever. And we'll see if that works better. Because I have not spent 4 minutes on this. Y'all have seen this. Oh, I'm sorry. Dahi. Okay. Dahi. That's cool. I will do my best to remember that. Dahi. All right. So, 4.5 minutes later, we still haven't loaded the fight. This is ridiculous. Oh, what is... Okay, I'm just gonna get out of that. Okay. Code fights, fix your site, y'all. I know you're watching. This is the most important stream ever for Code Fights. I know Code Fights is paying attention to this, so that's why I'm looking at the camera. Code Fights, fix your site. Look at this. This is... Look at this. Look at this mess. It's not even loading. It's like 5 minutes. Humanoid. I see the chat probably a little bit faster before it shows up on screen, but not by much. It definitely takes it a little while to show up. Blame YouTube and Twitch and Beam a little bit because they all have to show up at the same time. Okay, so I said this was times equals, which I can't type an equals sign to save my life. Run those sample tests. Huh? Yeah? I know how a factorial works, I think. So in 5, we'd start at 5. And we'd get 5. And it doesn't equal 0. So then we would return... Oh, this is 1. You want to not... Can only change 1. Oh. Okay, whatever. There we go. Okay, that was not 5 minutes and something. You all know that. James Scott, I'm using an app called OBS and a service called Restream. Restream.io lets me send the one stream out to multiple endpoints. Okay, given the number of green apples on a shelf and a total number of apples, return the percentage, of green apples. Really? That sounds easier than it should be. But let's try it. Oh, okay. So return total divided by green times 100. And it looks like you want an int out of that, so int. Oh no, wait, that should be green out of total. What am I doing? Oh, look at me failing 4th grade math. Alright, so the longest diagonals of a square matrix are defined as follows. The first longest diagonal goes from the top left corner to the bottom right one. The second longest diagonal goes from the top right corner to the bottom left one. Given a square matrix, your task is to reverse the order of elements on both of its longest diagonals. Reverse the order of elements on both of its longest diagonals. Okay, so that means I want to take the first item from the first list and swap it with the last item from the last list and then the last item from the first list with the first item from the last list, the middle item stays the same. Okay, that seems simple enough. Okay, so let's look back over here. Pause wants to practice a bit more. You're fine. Don't worry about it. You're doing great. James knows about OBS. Cool. Why don't we teach C++ or C at Treehouse? We don't really find them necessary. It's friendly enough, but it just doesn't need to be, you know. Okay, so the length of the matrix is always... Okay. Oh, but they're not always the same. Aha. Okay. So, diagonals. All right. So let's get diagonals equals 0. It's always going to be 0. I want to make pairs of these. 0. And then matrix len matrix -1. Right? I may be doing this in a really long, drawn-out way. So then... Oh, yeah. Let's do this. So for x... No. For I in range len matrix -1, dot append, and I'm going to append I, and then len matrix -I plus 1. So I'll break this onto a new line so y'all can see what I'm doing. So we're appending, in this case it'll be like 0 and then 9, right? Or we just want I plus 1 times -1. We just want to reverse that. Okay, so I think that'll work. So then new matrix equals this. It's an empty list for m in matrix. So for each item in the matrix, I want an index on that too. Enumerate. New matrix. New line equals I am lost on this one. I need like code to sit down and think this one through. But okay. So I want to take the first item on the first one. So that's going to be equal to m. Whatever's in m. And then we want to take new line And we want to take diagonals I 0. So whatever that item is, and we want that to be equal to... We don't even need that. We don't even need that. Okay, so we can just do this. We can do matrix, which means really I can do this as for I in range len matrix, right? So matrix, the one that we're on, the 0th item, whatever item comes out of diagonals there, is equal to matrix I plus 1 times negative 1 diagonals I 1. I don't think I'm quite right on that one. Okay, that should always go to the other side. That should always get the last item, right? And I don't need new matrix. The code's fine. Oh, this should be -1. Okay, so some of these I got completely wrong. Oh, yeah. Haha. Okay, end is going to be equal to matrix I plus 1 times negative 1 diagonals I negative 1. Okay, so that's the last value, right? So, and then let's say start is equal to matrix I diagonals I 0. Okay, so that's the start value, that's the last value. So the start value is going to be equal to end, and the last value here is going to be equal to start, and run those tests. No. Oh, I forgot to get the last one. Okay. Okay. So then I also have to get the last one on the end. Can you create a string and swap the numbers, then recreate a square matrix? I probably could on that one. Let's see if I can remember. It was Dahi. Did I get that one right? Dahi. Yeah, I could probably do that one. Create a string, swap the numbers, then recreate a square matrix. It's not any easier with a string than it is with a list, right? So it's fine. Okay, here, we'll do this. We'll do start left, end right, and we'll do start right and end left. So start right is going to be equal to matrix I. So whatever row we're on, -1, right? Always. And this is going to be equal to matrix here, 0. Always, right? So then this one here ends up equaling end right, and matrix I -1. Oh, it's not always going to be -1 though. That's going to be equal to that. This one here. This last one would be equal to start left. This one would be equal to start right. This isn't exactly right. This is totally wrong. Invalid syntax. Yeah, you're right. How did that come out as 4? Oh, because of that -1. So, all right. I'm not worried about this one. I'm giving up on this one. You beat me on this, humanoid. We'll find out what happens later. So yeah, so we're at the end of the stream. Let's take questions. Anybody have questions? Let me know. If I have another code fight here, I will check it out later. Okay, it's just that one. Anybody that wants to challenge me, go for it. I don't know how often I'll be checking out, but I will later. So we'll talk about that. If you have any questions, ask them now. I'll answer them before the end of the stream. And Critical Toxic would like me to do more Discord bots. I think I will, actually. I made it to a new level. Woo! And I lost because that totally took me 6 minutes and 53 seconds. Totally. 100%. Right, humanoid? There's no way that didn't take me 7 minutes. Oh, code fight. Okay. Whatever. Anyway, so I will do more Discord bots. I want to do another Discord bot. I really want to do one that's over the voice feature of Discord. But that's going to be a little ways off. We'll get to that later. But yeah, I definitely want to do more Discord bots. If I remember correctly, my very first stream that I did was a Discord bot. No, that was the Django travel blog. Right, that was something different. Anyway, though, I will do more Discord bots. I will be streaming over the weekend. I'll be doing some streams for the Ludum Dare that I'm doing. So if you want to watch me do panicky Rust code and creating sprites and maps and things like that, be sure to tune in. That will be on my own Beam channel, though. That will be at beam.pro/KennethLove. It won't be here on Treehouse. I will not be streaming on Treehouse. I'll just be streaming on my own personal channel. So if you want to come watch that, feel free. You can come and watch. I'd love to have you there. I'll have chat open. We can talk about stuff. It may be just like music playing or something, or it may be something else. I'm not sure. I don't know if there'll be any audio or not. You may just get to watch me type and put down pixels. So, thank you all for watching. Glad to have had you here. Tune in next week. We'll do something else. I think I'm going to start doing... I want to start playing around with languages. So if y'all would like to see me do tutorials, practice, learn different languages, let me know what languages you'd like to see. And maybe I'll do some. It will be a lot of mistakes. Many mistakes will be made. But that's fine. Mistakes are how we learn. So, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next week. Have a great weekend.